Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Radio City Music Hall of the Midwest, our wonderful, one of our many homes of jazz here on the West Lafayette campus of Purdue University, here in the wonderful Elliott Hall of Music. We are the Jazz Lab Ensemble 2. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We've got a wonderful set of music for you. The first song we like to play is by a great, it's sometimes called Tin Pan Alley composers. In the history of American music, there was a time in New York where you could go to Midtown Manhattan, and they said that all the music was coming out of all the buildings in the sense that that was Tin Pan Alley, where a number of different great American composers were composing songs for shows, for vaudeville, and many of these became what we call American standards. And in jazz, we'd like to take these tunes and interpret them in our own way. The first song we're going to play is going to feature our lovely vocalist, Miss Allison Brown, and this is our version of Fascinating Rhythm by the great Tin Pan Alley composers George and Ira Gershwin, and this is based off of an Ella Fitzgerald recording. Again, Allison Brown, Fascinating Rhythm.
Got a little rhythm that pitter-pats through my brain. So darn persistent, the day isn't distant when it'll drive me insane. Comes in the morning without any warning and hangs around me all day. I'll have to sneak up to it someday and speak up to it. I hope it listens when I say fascinating rhythm, you've got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm, I'm all a-quiver. What a mess you're making, the neighbors want to know why I'm always shaking just like a flivver. Each morning I get up with the sun, start hopping, never stopping to find that night no work has been done. I know that once it didn't matter, but now you're doing wrong when you start to patter. I'm so unhappy. Won't you take a day off, decide to run along somewhere far away off and make it snappy? Oh, how I long to be the gal I used to be. Fascinating rhythm, oh, won't you stop picking on me? I know that once it didn't matter, but now you're doing wrong when you start to patter. I'm so unhappy. Won't you take a day off, decide to run along somewhere far away off and make it snappy? Oh, how I long to be the gal I used to be. Fascinating rhythm, fascinating rhythm. Don't you start picking on me.
George and Ira Gershwin's Fascinating Rhythm. Once again, Allison Brown on the vocals. We like to continue on with a composition by a great saxophonist and educator at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And his name is Mike Tamero. And this is his composition, Secret Smiles. And you're going to hear from Mr. Andrew Masick on the piano and from Mr. Zach Kessler on the tenor saxophone. And again, you're going to hear from Alison Brown with a wonderful lyric that she has written for this melody. This is Mike Tomero's Secret Smiles. Andrew Masick on the piano, Zach Kessler on the tenor saxophone, the wonderful Allison Brown on the vocals. We've got one more number featuring Allison. We're going to continue on with a composition written by Mr. Gordon Jenkins and made famous in a recording by the great June Christie. This is our interpretation of Goodbye.
I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you. I'll never forget how we promised one day to love one another forever that way. We said we'd never say goodbye. But that was long ago. Now you've forgotten, I know. No use to wonder why. Let's say farewell with a sigh. Let love die. But we go on living our own way of living. So you take the high road and I'll take the low. It's time that we parted. It's much better so. Kiss me as you go. Goodbye. Now you've forgotten, I know. Let's say farewell with a sigh. Let love die. But we go on living our own way of living. So you take the high road and I'll take the low. It's time that we parted. It's much better so. But kiss me as you go. Goodbye.
We're so glad we have her, Allison Miller, on the vocals. Thank you, Allison. We're going to continue on. We just come off a little chilly spell in the weather here, West Lafayette, and so we figure it's warming up. The sun is out. And we're going to switch over with our bands. We've got another wonderful group of trombonists and trumpet players coming out. And we're going to start off with a composition by the great pianist, Mr. Dave Brubeck. I first remember being introduced to this tune through two solo transcriptions I did when I was in school. I did a transcription of great alto saxophonist Phil Woods and another one of Kenny Garrett, based off of, they were both on this composition. Again, Dave Brubeck's In Your Own Sweet Way. You're going to hear wonderful soloists, some wonderful playing from Sarah Moaning on the trumpet, Tyler Huff on the trombone, Ryan Rask on the trumpet, and Jake McMahon on the guitar. This is our interpretation of Dave Brubeck's In Your Own Sweet Way. And hopefully you feel a little warmer out there in the sense of you see our trumpet section in particular back there. It's got the lays on, so therefore we're taking to the island breezes of Hawaii with this one. Spectacular soloing. Ceremony on the trumpet. Ryan Rask back there on the trumpet. Mr. Jake McMahon on the guitar. And Tyler Huff on the trombone. Dave Brubeck's In Your Own Sweet Way. We're going to slow things down a little bit with a wonderful ballad that was written by Edward Heyman and Victor Young. It's arranged by Gordon Goodwin. This is going to be our groovy take on When I Fall in Love. And it's going to feature, again, on the tenor saxophone, Mr. Zach Kessler. When I Fall in Love. Zach Kessler on the tenor saxophone. When I Fall in Love. We thank you so much for joining us here this evening. We've got one more number for you, and it's written by a great saxophonist and composer, arranger, who did some great arrangements and compositions from none other than the Count Basie Orchestra. This is Lenny Niehouse's Blues Around. We took a little time to do a little assignment that I gave the folks here during the semester to create their own blues riffs, some blues riff melodies based off of a 12-bar blues. And so you'll hear them as backgrounds for some of the soloists, some of our own individual contribution to Lenny Niehouse's Blues Around. You're going to hear from Andrew Masick again on the piano, Grace Gill on the trombone, Morgan Merrill on the trumpet, Eric Shin on the baritone saxophone, and Sam Dlott on the vibes. This is Blues Around. Thank you so much. We hope you plan on sticking around. We've got another wonderful band, the Tower of Power, coming up after us. Again, Andrew Masick on the piano, Grace Gill on the trombone, Morgan Merrill back there on the trumpet, Eric Shin on the baritone saxophone, Sam Dlott back there on the vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much. Once again, we are the Purdue University Jazz Lab Band number 2. Thank you. Lots of great music to come from the Tower of Power Band.